Welcome to Building a Module with Don. This is episode 3. Impressive that Don has a brand new studio to work in just because he's doing this presentation. Without further ado, here's Don.
Hello, we're back. I have a cold, or bronchitis. And I've also noticed that our module has warped a little bit, but that's not going to matter. Well, it's not warped. I got to get it and everything. But I'm just gonna, for the sake of recording what happens, they said we're a little off balance, so we're gonna make another mountain, and I think it's going to be kind of like this. Whoops. And I went down to the hobby shop and I got some more shaper sheet from Woodland Scenics, and I got my glue gun, my hot glue gun, and my Scripto knife and my palette knife, and we've got more Sculptamold. So I'm going to kind of do some Sculptamold stuff and build this mountain, and we'll speed it up.
Well, that's too fast, Don. Better back up and go a little bit slower.
We'll edit what we want, but just kind of keep this a continuous build. I'm probably I'm going to do this mountain, maybe some other stuff, and I may use that as a base of a road because I've got some other stuff. I may or may not. I've got some other stuff that you can buy that's asphalt. We talked about that. This is textured asphalt, but they also make an asphalt thing that you spread out with a palette knife. As we await Woodland Scenics to build their coming new travel court. I've been looking around excuse me, for a place. It was a good start. I said maybe this could go here. But I think it's just too big and not the kind of thing you'd see up the wooden road. And I got another thing, a Ma's Place one. I bought another one for my layout, and I may use my layout one there that might be just right, and we'll change it to Bud's Burgers. But I had that there, but I figured, of course I could change this mountain, but I do want it that long. Maybe it doesn't have to be that high. But I'm thinking by the time I fill that in, I could still do it, but not sure yet. Still up for debate. We'll see. So that's what's going to go on. Hopefully this is recording, and then I'll give it to Mr. Producer and he can edit it and speed on, but I'm just going to start making stuff. And
All right, we're back. Lots of tools on the table. Don's checking to make sure the old glue gun is getting warm. He's looking at it to make sure it hasn't lost its mind. He's checking himself to make sure Don hasn't lost his mind. Getting ready to make some cuts for the supports for the mountain, kind of like he did in the first video if you tuned in for that. I continue to be amazed at how fast the glue hardens. As you recall from the first 2 episodes, when Don had problems with the glue gun separating from the holder, he said, I gotta fix this.
I got to fix this, got to fix this, got to fix this, got to fix this.
It's a bad day to start smoking.
Hold it for a second, let it set. So I think I'm going to make it maybe like a washout here. Like this, because the rest of this I don't need any support. We'll put that there. You can do that with just a shaper sheet. So let me see.
Time to speed up while Don thinks out loud.
Maybe a little thing like that, or maybe something like this. So maybe we'll put something here.
Hello, we're still filming. Get back here.
Let me bring my little marker.
Doing a little cutting off camera.
This is actually poster board that I used for my making up my little railroad slots to carry my trains to the show in those plastic bins that you get from Target or Staples, but it'll still work. Anything will work.
Final decision to support the little part or not.
Do it with the strength of the shaper sheet.
Final answer, the shaper sheet will make it strong.
So remember, we're going to crunch it up and maybe flare it in like a little washout maybe.
You get bonus points if you realize that the foil side does not face outward, but rather inward. But don't tell Don. For now, we'll just keep it a secret.
Make some shape. So maybe we'll do that. We'll cut around here. And make your mountain how you want it. Come on, scissor. Maybe we'll hot glue this and get it stuck. And then we can play here with a little washout kind of thing. And then maybe a big thicker part here.
For those of you keeping score at home, remember the first word in hot glue gun is hot.
So you're like that. Whoops, out, and it's hot, so nothing is ever perfect. I think it was a good idea. You can always trim some of this off if you don't. If it's going to interfere with something later. Maybe doing this the hard way. But that's typical. Let that harden, and then we can kind of work this to the shape we think we want it. And this will be, I want to leave some room for stuff, backyard or something. Don't know how big that's going to be. Put something along here. And I'm going to put something here too.
Watch for the precise measuring of the would-be wall.
I can use that. I'm going to kind of build that up a little bit, and I can go back into this piece. And it'll give me a little wall. We're just creating a volume, filling up volume so we can put Sculptamold on it, shaper sheet over it, or whatever we want to do. We're making structure. We can mold this with just Sculptamold. So back here, it should be hard enough to monkey with. Show shrimps. And it just looks different too. You don't have to have a round mountain. You can have other stuff.
I have to give Don a lot of credit. He videoed this by himself. And he could have just deleted this whole video sequence showing him putting the mountain on wrong. But, he's human. He makes mistakes just like we all do. So kudos to him. So we can all laugh at his mistake. Sorry, Don. Back to you, Don.
See what we can do. No, stay there. So let's see what we do have here. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. It is hot glue. Take my wooden pencil. Comes with instructions. How to do it.
I can't help but notice that he did not read the instructions.
I got my bits and pieces. And I kind of want to see how nice and shiny this comes out. And maybe I can do it this way.
Well, as Don touched the mountain for about the 600th time, he's talking about how shiny the foil is.
Oh, this will be beautiful. Beautiful. Let that cool a second. I'm going to flare this out a little bit and put some glue on the bottom of this. And probably that. Around the back so I can stick it on. Hi.
Hi.
I have a visitor. We're recording.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Time for a lesson with hot glue.
Ow. 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 They call it hot glue for a reason.
No, Don, we're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you. Now get back to work.
Well, you know what I did?
Why, yes. Yes, we do. The shiny side goes down.
I can't believe I did that. You can tell why I got a cold and a fever. It's all bass backwards.
For the record, I feel really bad. He put so much effort into that. But life goes on, and so does this video.
So as you can see, I'm redoing this. See how that gets edited. You should eat lunch and not have a cold and getting over a fever. This goes on the outside, but the other one was pretty. So I just kind of pulled it off and, we'll just keep we'll just keep going along. You always can cover your mistakes. So we're going to do the same thing. I have my little washout thing here. I'm going to get my finger behind there and poof that up a little bit. That's going to be like that. That's going to be like that. We're just going to glue it down again. Start again. Rework. You know, you can cover the other stuff with your, and we'll rework our work. We'll rework our work. All right, kind of we're back to where we were. I want to puff that out. I'm going to cut a hole behind here. So I can do a little artwork. I got a rib here. Maybe I'll puff this out here. You know what I'm doing? Yeah. A little different shape. I got a little wash out there, a little pumpy here. That's good. Let's do a couple more. Then we were working here. Actually, you know what? I can cover all that in with sculpted mold. You could do something like that if you wanted, but I don't need to. I'll just put it all in. Okay. We're going to start doing our sculpted mold. So again, this is 50-50 water, add in a little bit at a time. Don't make too much because it does harden. You probably got 10 minutes to play with it. So I got about that much. It's a good amount. I'm doing smaller things. Remember, I used the solo cup. So I got a thing of water here. And I think if I remember from my training, I need to give it a spray of water down. And we're going to mix it up till it's like tuna fish. Depending on how you like the tuna fish. Ooh, that's getting pretty good. See, it's kind of getting there. You want it so it's not falling all over, and you want it so it kind of keeps its shape. And then I'm going to take my mallet knife and play with it because I want to get it on. I'm going to get it on and use my piece of shim stock. And we'll shape it and mold it and make pretty things here in a minute. And my washout. Now this is where your artwork comes in. Let's get it spread. Kind of spread around. Whoop. Need some there. We can make shapes. Let's get the edges nice so when we peen it, it's going to be okay. I'm going to bring it over and then I can cut it off later, but I get at least all this stuff covered. And then we can do a lot with the paintbrush here too. So maybe we'll make this, you don't want to keep that flared. You don't want stuff to blend into our groundwork. You don't want goofy looking stuff. Finish with our artwork. A little randomness here. Let's see what we get here like this. Well, maybe. And I want my next batch, I don't want any big stuff, so I kind of want to feather this here too. Then remember we have our paintbrush, so we can really, remember you can do things. You can move it around, move it up, make things. And I'm going to want to paint it, so I don't want a lot of little holes, but it does give you some stuff. So different edges. I'm kind of getting it consolidated like I kind of want it, sort of, kind of. And then you can do final things when you're done. See, it's a sticky up part, I don't want that. I'm going to smooth it a little bit. Smooth it on the edges and the back. I'll put some water on your brush, good idea. Okay, so I think that's kind of have a thing going there, like the way when you go up the road and you see how nature has had an earthquake and makes things to a particular angle. That's a nice effect. And we'll just leave it like that. Maybe give it a little, soften it up a little bit. You can see those cuts I made are starting to stay, so it's setting up. And that's only been a few minutes, but yeah, I like that. Okay, let's make another batch. Well, and I got a little too much water because it's a little, still okay, but we got a lot, so we can't be monkeying around. Get up here, we want to get a nice finished look. Drop some on the floor. So let's clean up our edges. So let's first, we want like enough here, enough. Then we can come with our paintbrush, and then we can go back with our palette knife to make some effects. It's all, I kind of got a thing going here. Got a lot of goop here, so that's good. I can make things here. Maybe I'll push this up and I'll make a little ledge. Let's go with our paintbrush and see what we can do. Let's clean up around the edges here. Something going here. Actually, we can highlight our washout here a little bit. So I'm pushing. Making a structure. All random. Nature's random. We don't want any sticky up stuff that's going to create problems. Let's get just different shapes, something to look at. Geologic formations that you learned in earth science, right? Earth science. Back Mahali. Always had a quiz after every class. Let's get some water on the brush. You can take out some of your brush marks later that I put on the ground. So we only need a little bit for that. So we'll make a little batch. And actually I'll make a little more batch because I'll make a little bit of stuff here. And let's make a wall right there. And we'll fill that in and just fan it out on there, and then we'll join it all together. You don't want to make too much, but you want to make enough. Same thing, keep adding water. 50-50. So let's see what we got here. Actually, I debated whether putting just a little something behind here just to fan it up to give it a finish. We're going to clean up our seams. We got a lot of stuff there. I can feel it. I can move it down. I'm going to make a flat wall here, so I have to, maybe I'll move some over here. I don't know what this will do. Get a bigger tool. I want a wall. Now this is definitely on the fly. Maybe the paintbrush will help. I told you I was going to build a wall for you, and I'm going to build a wall. So I think that's pretty good. Now that's starting to start hardening up quick, so let's finish this off. Let's get everything going. Let's get the paintbrush. Get it all prettied up. I think we're ready for the paintbrush to finish this. And then as it sets up, I want to move right along. I want to fix my seams. Now, our wall. Let's do our wall. Hold on, I hope it's not setting up too much. But, so this is, man, pressure's on. So you kind of want to come along and move. It's all random. And it might be setting up a little bit too much, and I may not have enough stuff there. So, but little random things like this, and then I can tell I don't have enough stuff against that green stuff I moved. And if I don't like it, I'll make another batch and put on the front here and have enough stuff behind me. See what that looks like. May look good enough for now. May have to redo it. Works better from the front. Well, Not my best one, but it's a wall. It's hardening up so the lines go in, and when it's a little softer, you kind of get that push in, you know, of a round, you know, of a brick, or I mean a stone. This is big, so I mean it's like a piece of limestone or those brown stones they cut. A little more structure here. I may do a little bit of that. I'm going to add some creek bed here, but for now I'm going to make these little structures just to give it a little structure here, little mounds, same way I did this before. And then we'll see what happens. See? And I cut out some pieces for some little structure here to make it interesting. So I'm making this simply out of two pieces I had. I want something just to hold the Sculptamold. A long little mountain, just a little structure so when the trains come through, they can peek.
And we'll zip through the hot gluing of the little mounds and continue.
I'm going to mix up some more Sculptamold and just make some mountains. Feather, finger. I'll make some more, just make sure I got places where we can feather it out. We got a big hole here. I gotta bring some here and make like a flat, maybe we'll make a flat cut for the railroad to go through. The interfaces with the ground, where you're going to bring your dirt or whatever you're going to bring, kind of nice.
Stand by for a famous movie quote.
I think I got enough clearance. Clarence? You have enough clearance, Clarence? What's your clearance, Clarence? Yeah, it should be good. Okay. So you're done. You're done. You're done. You got a road? It's starting hard. I'm going to add a little water to it. Sometimes that bring it back enough. Time to get going. Oh. Let's go around and feather out our edges by the ground. Need some more stuff there. Paintbrush. Get some water. This might be just a plain old round boulder rock. That's a rock. One more batch. And a cracker. Your finger. Your finger is wonderful.
Same deal with the left mountain. Got to pull a little bit of hot glue off the end, fix up the end, a little bit of knife action, 1,000 brush strokes.
You know what? I want to start doing a creek bed. I know I had too much, but I'm going to make it okay. Because when you see this creek coming out, this could be a little different, but I'm going to start filling this creek bed in. There's a stink bug. I hate stink bugs.
Yet he doesn't hate them enough to kill them. Just shoo them away.
Get out of here. You're annoying. Alright, let's finish this puppy. Because I got stuff left and I'm going to start putting it in the creek bed. So let's get all this going on. Maybe I can make, whoop, a little stuff there. Not yet. We'll do the rest with the paintbrush. Just pack all this in. So let's get kind of this flattened out a little bit, and then we can finish making any shapes we want. Get an interface around the ground. And you start to see some shapes, and we can finish it off. A little hump there. A little flat spot there. That's kind of cool. like a jagged little mountain. So we got some stuff here, so let's start filling in the creek bed. Ooh, she's getting a little set up already. So let's try to bring her back a little bit. Maybe we can get the creek bed done. I got a little too much water in there, but we'll see what we can do. We're gonna make a creek bed. Maybe stuff on the bottom, maybe I can use this for here. For this creek bed, oh, time pressure, time pressure. It'll be all right. You know what, I'm gonna put some in here. I don't know if I can do this quick. This is all gonna be ground. And there, I'm gonna take this out, because eventually, it's gonna be thin. And I got a little bit too much in there. I can always use this for ground. Try to carve a little hole under there for a culvert or something. In earth science you would learn too that there's a name for this, is when the river overflows, there's a higher part of ground near the river because the velocity slows down and the sediment settles, and that's why it's a little bit bigger. Another earth science thing from Dr. Holly. So this is our creek bed that we'll eventually paint. And we'll put water in there. I don't know how that's going to work, but it's sort of going to work. Okay, so let's try to do this. Oh, I can't. See, that's hardened up. So we won't. We'll just say, it was a good idea, but it didn't work. Made a little bit too much. So we'll make a little bit more. I maybe could do that. Yeah. Let's do it right. I just want to make this creek bed. We got a waterfalls here. I think we're going to trim that a little bit more. I got material to make waterfalls. We're going to do that in another session.
Can't see, the bucket's in the way.
A
Hello.
little more.
Thank you.
A little more towards the mountain. Just to give you some room for the waterfalls to hit. It'll make a big splash. If that's too much, I'll take some out. We'll see, that probably is a little too much. But we'll see. I totally do not know what I'm doing. I'm faking it. But we're making a creek bed, right? Pool here. Have a little bit of a bank so someone can fish. I think I can do the rest maybe with a paintbrush and move it around.
Well, it seems Dawn's battery just died. So, Dawn, why don't you give us a wrap up and tell us what's coming?
So, sorry, we're back. The last scene, the camera ran out of battery, so it was a little bit of a stoppage. But I wanted to show you. Remember, I said I found this piece, and I don't know. I got some of these little mounds done, and I filled in the creek bed. And I've kind of dug this out a little bit because I've been working and preparing for our waterfall effect, but I got to do some painting first, right? And we're going to do that. And I decided that we're going to probably use something of that size and more, what do you want to say, subject specific, more subject. You'd probably see one of them on the road up in the hinterland. So Ma's place is getting sold to Bud, so we can put a new sign for Bud's Burgers in the parking lot. And we're waiting for Woodland Scenics to come out with their auto court. So, and that's the other thing. I did this wall. Not quite pleased with it, but it's a wall. It'll be better looking when we get it all painted. So when we come back, I'm going to paint the mountains. I'm going to paint and try to match that color or redo this if I have to make what I think we want for a you know, a creek bed. I could also paint some little pebbles and stones I've got that are not the right color, but I can paint them gray and put some different things in there. Maybe a bottom of sand. I can glue it once I get it painted or paint it over it, and then do what I want to do. And then I might even make, as we talked about, I'll maybe cut these differently, and I have cement colored paint with a little sand in it. It looks like cement. And I could make these for the railroad and maybe something different from the road. So we'll kind of get some of that prepared when we come back. So when we come back, we'll probably have this painted and we'll work on our water feature, which I have, as I said, been doing. So until then, we will continue with the module birth. See you later.